For this recipe, we are using 6 lobster tails and they are about 6 ounces each. Begin by cutting the shells just like so. Using a sharp knife, cut the lobster tails in half lengthwise. Once you have cut along the top of the tail, you should be able to lift the vein out of the meat using your fingers. Discard the vein and rinse the lobster tails under cold water before cooking. Meanwhile, preheat the oven to 400 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 200 degrees Celsius. Now, to make the lobster stock, we need 1 medium-sized onion. You don't need to peel the onion, cut it in half. Cut 2 carrots in pretty large chunks. You don't need to peel them either, just make sure that everything has been rinsed under cold water first. Also cut up 1 celery stalk. Then transfer the vegetables into a roasting pan. Add 4 cloves of garlic, 3 sprigs of fresh thyme. Transfer the lobster tails into the pan, a couple of tablespoons of avocado oil or olive oil. To season, sprinkle kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper, both to taste. Now roast at 400 degrees Fahrenheit for about 8 to 12 minutes, or until the shells are bright red and the lobster has been cooked through. The internal temperature should be 140 degrees Fahrenheit. And if everything goes according to plan, your lobster tails would look like this. Let the lobster tails cool off before removing the meat. Now transfer the vegetables to a heavy pot or a Dutch oven. Once the lobster tails are cool enough to handle, remove the meat and set it aside. Then cut the lobster meat into bite-sized pieces. Keep the lobster meat in the fridge until needed. Transfer the lobster shells into the pot. Add 8 cups of water, followed by 2 bay leaves. Season with a pinch of kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper to taste. Set the temperature to medium-high and bring to a boil. Once it comes to a boil, reduce the temperature to medium-low and let it simmer for at least 40 minutes. And after simmering for 40 minutes, turn the heat off. Now you may discard the lobster tails, shells, and the vegetables. Transfer the lobster stock into a large bowl and run through a strainer. Set the lobster stock aside until needed. Now, using the same Dutch oven over medium heat, melt 2 tablespoons of butter. Once the butter has melted, add 1 medium-sized onion diced, followed by 1 diced carrot, 1 diced celery stalk, and 1 cup of sliced mushrooms. Season with a pinch of kosher salt and freshly ground black pepper to taste. Sauté until the vegetables are tender, about 5 minutes. Once the vegetables are soft and tender, add 2 tablespoons of tomato paste. Give that a quick stir to incorporate, and to give it a nice kick, add 1/8 of a teaspoon of cayenne pepper. Give that a quick stir, then add 2 tablespoons of all-purpose flour and cook off the flour for a couple of minutes. Deglaze the pot with 1 cup of white wine like Chardonnay. Cook off the wine until the wine has been reduced as you scrape the bottom of the pan. Then add the lobster stock. Let it come to a simmer, and once it comes to a simmer, let it simmer for about 20 minutes until the vegetables are nice and super tender. Now use an immersion blender and blend until smooth. Then add 3/4 of a cup of heavy cream, followed by 3/4 of a cup of whole milk. Give that a quick stir to incorporate. Over medium heat, let the pot come to a simmer. At this point, you may taste and adjust salt and pepper to your liking. Add most of the lobster meat to the pot, reserving some for later to garnish the plates. Now turn the heat off and serve. Garnish the plates with reserved lobster meat. You may also garnish with fresh chives. Check this out, B-roll. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed my recipe for my signature lobster bisque. Make sure to check out kelvinskitchen.com for more recipes. Until next time, bon appetit. See you later. Thanks for watching. Bye.